Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet, and I am here today with Viola Rose. Hi there, Viola. How are you doing?
Hi, doing great. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much for putting aside the time because I know you've been very busy recently. Because one of the major reasons for talking to you, of course, is the latest version of the Ancient Secrets of the Flower of Life, Volume 3, introduced now to us some 30 years or so after Volume 2 finished. Is about right, is it?
Yeah, yeah. And the volume three is The Awakening, the Illuminated Heart is the subtitle of, there's a lot of title there, right? So
There
The
is.
Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, volume three, Awakening the Illuminated Heart. And this book is based on the Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshop, just like the first two books were based on the Flower of Life workshop that were then brought into a book to be companions to the Flower of Life workshop. And now we finally have a companion to the Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshop in the form of this book.
It's fantastic. And I love that as well because having taken that with you not that long ago, I know how powerful it is. And I keep thinking to myself, you know what? I'd be even more ready for it now than I was then because I mean that curiosity thing has never dropped away. And I've still got my book here where I made all my notes as we went through all the different days and it's amazing because you can't, up until this book has come out now, it's not teaching that you would have picked up from somewhere else. It was all sort of, it felt unique. And the
Yeah.
level of detail and the empowerment that came through with it. And the most amazing thing is realizing just how powerful we are. It just blew my mind to know that we're actually capable of these things that, Drunvalo is here for a very special purpose on the planet, obviously, to be able to teach us these things. And now we kind of, I think humanity is just reaching a stage where so many people, more people are awakening to that true power. And I think even now it's still very difficult to comprehend just how powerful we really are because we've been dumbed down for so many decades,
Yeah.
conditioned and programmed to believe we're that big when in reality we have a huge amount of capabilities about us.
Like what our nature is, we think of as human, which is so dumbed down, but really it's something that we would think of as superhuman. But that's actually normal. That level of superhuman and the Awakening the Illuminated Heart Workshop brings us more online to that superhuman nature of ourselves. And also, we really learn how sovereign we are and how we really have all the technology that we need inside of ourselves, and we don't have to look outside of ourselves to teachers or gurus or tech or any of that stuff. We have it all because we are so superhuman. And this workshop lights me up to no end because it really brings that forward.
Mm. It's fascinating. So, given what I went the course that I did with you, will it be changing much with the advent of this new volume? Are there
So
more
that we are
enhancements?
in we are in talks with Drunvalo right now, and we are figuring out how to do that. And I think where we're at right now is that the workshop will stay the same, and there will be a second workshop that we're going to add, an advanced follow-up workshop that brings in some of the new information. Because even though this book is called Awakening the Illuminated Heart, there is some new stuff in it that is not in the workshop. And so we're going to compile that separately and have a shorter workshop that will bring in the new teachings.
Mm, yes.
And so that will be like advanced. And then, of course, Drumbelow is now working on Flower of Life Volume 4, and there's going to be even more coming. He's a skyrocket. He's so advanced and he's so far along, and he just keeps blazing the trail and hoping, we can keep up.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't argue with that. And I assume we're not going to be waiting another 30 years then for volume four then. Ooh.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's writing it right now.
I'm super excited about it. I mean, could you just, for the people who are less familiar with the Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshop, can you just give like some basics about what it actually does for you and the areas of focus, the tiny space of the heart and all this kind of thing?
Oh yeah, I'd be delighted to. So this was a workshop that Drunvalo created in 2011, and his work has continued to evolve as we have continued to evolve, right? Nothing is stagnant. We keep evolving, so we keep being able to access new levels. And so this workshop, Awakening the Illuminated Heart, was a new way to activate the Merkabah, the light body, and do it from the heart. Rather than, if you were at all familiar with his older books, there was a synthetic way, a manual way of activating the Merkabah. And this was different. This was our inherent nature. We naturally have this technology around us. We learn to connect our heart to our mind in a certain way, open our third eye, and then our light body, our Merkaba, can activate. And this is our interdimensional vehicle. This is what allows us freedom after we die and allows us to travel in between dimensions. So that's one of the focuses of the workshop. And in some ways, because if you just look at the name, it's called Awakening the Illuminated Heart. It's the heart piece that is primary in this work. And it's all about getting out of the duality of the mind and learning to live in the unity of the heart. And that changes a person's experience of life so dramatically because the brain is in duality. It has a left and a right side. And so when we are living, breathing, creating reality from the brain, we're doing it from duality. And people end up on the roller coaster where they create some good, some bad, whatnot. We get into the heart where there's only unity consciousness. And then we can live a life more of grace because we are just in the heart. So that is a huge part of the teaching. So around that, we have to talk about belief patterns, breaking down our belief patterns that keep us limited. And then also the traumas around the heart, we work to heal those. And so we learn that we can access the unified field of everything directly through the heart. We can access our own higher self, our own deeper knowledge. We do that in the workshop as well. We turn on our own psychic centers and we learn to create reality from the heart and live in joy.
What I love about this as well, I mean, this time, obviously we're seeing so much polarity out there in the world right now. And one thing you do know is that it's there to really test people on a soul level. It kind of encourages you into fear, anger, division, and all this kind of thing. Whereas in reality, what we're talking about here is getting away and back to our original source of our intelligence, which is heart-based. Okay. So it makes so much sense now, and it makes more sense now over the years, realizing that this Christ consciousness, this unity consciousness actually sits within us. And it is making the connection between the pineal and the sacred space of the heart. And that's what I remember again about the course doing that with you, Viola, is how to make that connection. I could never have guessed it. If I'd have been trying for several lifetimes, I could never have actually worked out how to make that connection. And the way that it's staged to take you through it one piece at a time, as you say, because you have to break down the old limiting beliefs first, right? You have to expand your consciousness. You have to expand your mind. You have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. This Leonardo sphere and the breath work and everything. It's quite amazing. It
It's a
really
journey.
is.
I mean, that's why it's 4 days. It's a life upgrading journey. And you walk away with these tools and you feel like you've just kind of been given the keys to the kingdom. Like, really? I get this technology now. I get to live and breathe and practice this. It's kind of, yeah, it's amazing.
It is. It is. And the whole principle that we have a Merkabah, all of us, we have that. We can activate it. And as you say, activating it in this new way through the heart, away from the duality, because that's where it was unsafe at times, right? Because if you and in the past, there were people who had knowledge, who knew how to create a Merkabah, but it wasn't necessarily done safely and securely. Whereas this is kind of activating it from the one space where you can't damage yourself, right? This is something,
Yeah,
I
let me
find that.
speak to that a little bit. So, in the old way of doing the Merkaba, in ways that are still kind of popular in some places in the world where you're spinning it consciously and whatnot, you're creating it. And if you're creating it, that means you could possibly get it wrong. And if you're doing it from the mind and the ego is still intact, you could create it and distort it. But when you do it in this way, you're not actually creating it. You're just kind of bringing alive the natural field. It's the same field that the Mother Earth has around her and that we naturally have around us. So you get into alignment and coherence with yourself, and it comes online itself, so you can't get it wrong.
Again, that was something from the course that I remember. Every leg of the journey was just equally fascinating, and it
Yeah.
does make sense. But you know, starting for as I regard myself as a real left brainer, going back like about 8 years ago, when just before it was less than 8 years ago, I began this journey. But I'd been steeped in the world of numbers, facts, science, or whatever, you know. But to me, it was all woo-woo nonsense for anybody that was looking at this side of things that I now accept as reality. So I understand that people have quite a journey. I think a lot of the left brainers, which are mainly the male population, biggest bridge has got to be made between the left brain, the right brain, and understanding the connection of everything. But more than anything, just understanding how powerful we are. It's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. So we're really blessed to have Drunvalo on the planet at this time, bringing forth this cutting edge wisdom and knowledge to help us advance to these levels that maybe it would have taken us a lot longer to scrap our way to, on our
For sure.
own.
And you know, like again, just going back in time to Drunvalo when he first came to the planet, this like as a walk-in, going back decades ago. And you know one of his main teachers over the years was Thoth, and Thoth, as I have learned in recent times, was effectively the architect of ascension. And as the architect of ascension is being the teacher for Drunvalo, and for Drunvalo to be that conscious being who's here now to help to lead us into the new earth and to teach us how powerful we are. And I'm grateful to you as well, Viola, because he can't obviously do this on his own. And I know there's a limited number of teachers around the world who actually officially teach his work. And you've helped him with the book. And there's meditations that go along with the book as well. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. There's 25 audio meditations that are connected to the book. And so he did a few of them and had me record the rest of them because that was a lot for him to take on
Yeah.
at his age. And so, yeah, so I've just been supporting and helping him any way I can. So it's been an honor and a delight.
Mm, fantastic. And those you purchased the meditation separate to the book, correct?
Yeah.
On audio as a download.
As a download. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
And
excited for it.
they're up and coming. Like, there's maybe some quirks they're still working out, but within a matter of days, everything will be up online. And translations are happening all over the world. And by next year, the book will be out in many different languages. And yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, and it's available on just on Kindle at the moment, correct? But while they're sorting out the publishing and printing.
Right. Yeah, but Light Technology is the publisher, and the book will be available there as well as the audio downloads. That's where the audio downloads will be is lighttechnology.com. And
Okay,
then the book is available, in Kindle at the moment, but very soon in paperback at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all the major sellers, it'll be all over the world.
okay. Well, do us a favor. As soon as you know it's going to be available, give us a nudge, and we'll make sure everybody's available and getting their orders in early.
Yeah, and so one thing I just want to mention about the book is that it is an amazing companion to the Awakening, the Illuminated Heart workshop. So this workshop is phenomenal, and to have a study guide and to have all the images from the workshop and the meditations to practice along with is incredibly valuable. And so if you really resonate with the book, you'll really resonate with taking an Awakening, the Illuminated Heart workshop to really embody these things, to go through it in a 4-day format with a teacher, with feedback. And there's a lot more that's actually in the workshop that's not in the book. So it's not a direct replacement, but an amazing inspiration and accompaniment to the book. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to mention that.
Absolutely. And I would be a total advocate for anybody who wishes to explore that, to connect with Viola, and we'll make sure that all your contact details and everything are in the details below. And I know that from when I did it, you have a recorded version of the course that people can take and just release it one day at a time, and they have direct feedback with you every day so that they can ask questions, right?
There's three ways to take the workshop with me. And one is I teach in the Sedona, Arizona area every other month, in-person live workshops. And alternating months, every other month, I also teach an online live workshop. And then for people who can't travel or have newborns or just their schedule is such in such a way that I do make available a self-study course, which is a recording of a live workshop that was online. And I just release one day at a time and then have direct questions and answers with after each day's recording. So you're getting real-time guidance from me, but you get to kind of do it at your own pace. So those are the three options, and you can see much more about that at my website, which is just violarose.com.
Mm. And I did the self-study version. But what was nice about it is that you're kind of taking the course alongside all the people who are actually there on the video. So you feel like you're at one with those people on there. So you don't feel like you're going at it alone. You're hearing what they have to say. You hear all their comments, you hear the feedback, and great characters as well. So whichever of those three people are interested in, absolutely, just go on to violarose.com and check it out for yourselves. And has an enormous value. I loved it, and I would be an absolute advocate for anybody who wants it, and I might even take it again myself before too long. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have people who've done the workshop 6 times, 11 times. Like it just goes deeper and deeper. And even every time I've taught the workshop well over 100 times at this point, right? And every time I teach it, I learn something new because I'm
mm,
changing and I can
mm,
like there's layers of depth to Drunvalo's wisdom, right? So I'm continually getting new ahas and downloads from it that match whatever level of growth I'm doing.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's why I would do it again, is because I know that having done it once before, it would really help me to, because now and particularly having the companion of the Awakening the Illuminated Heart Volume 3 for the Flower of Life as well. I think it would really put me in a strong position to be able to further the outcome really. So very
Beautiful.
cool, very cool.
Well, I always appreciate your enthusiasm and for this work. So thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for your invaluable support of Drunvalo, because I know that he will greatly value that at this particular time for the good of humanity. So thank you, Viola. And anybody ever has any questions and wants to come to elevatedplanet.life, send me an email either to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or come through our website, elevatedplanet.life. There's a contact page there with a free format contact box. But anything for Viola direct, violarose.com. So thank you so much, Viola.
Thank
Truly
you.
appreciate it.
And I so appreciate the work you're doing in the world as well. So much
Thank you.
appreciation to you too.
Very, very kind. All right. You take care, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again sometime very soon.